Hello and welcome. Hope you're doing all right. I'm doing all good. It's a very blustery day, but nice and warm still. So happy days. So yeah, a couple of videos ago, I sort of changed the scope of the garden a little bit because it says Jurassic Garden Diary, but you can see there's a climbing frame, lots of straight lines, and climbers which were flowering. So yeah, I kind of broke that a little bit. So I decided to go for modern Jurassic. That gets me out of the shit basically, because the Jurassic is the evergreen structure of the garden with all the ferns and Jurassic-y type plants, like this cycad right here, which you can see has got some nice mean new fronds coming out on it. And yeah, all the straight lines, and that is the modern, and anything flowering is modern as well. So therefore, it encompasses everything. And I was sort of thinking, to get the Jurassic theme still going as much as I can, it'd be nice to get a few dragonflies in here. And you know, if you're going to get dragonflies in, why stop at them? Let's just get all the insects and whatnot that we can do. So this is the sort of strategization for that. So I've been watching a load of videos recently. I will get up in a minute, don't worry. I've been watching a lot of videos recently, just wildlife videos and reading books and magazines and whatnot. And the general scope I got was that there's kind of just three things you need to worry about, which is habitat, water, and food. So the food is obviously going to be the flowers and the plants. Water is water. I'm going to be getting a big waterfall in here at some point, and it's a bit difficult to put a pond in at the moment because I've got a toddler. So, you know, we're in the southwest of England, so it does rain quite a lot. Anyway, and if it doesn't, I can always put out just a little sort of bowl with some pebbles in, all the way through to barrel ponds and up to proper ponds if we get there. Might put a barrel pond out the front, but we'll park water for a minute because that's fairly straightforward to sort of sort out. So we're just left with the habitat and the flowers, or stroke food. So yeah, when it comes to that, the way I'm going to approach it is kind of, one side of it is going to be SAS, military precise operation. The other side of it is going to be just dropping a nuclear bomb. And what I mean by that is, when I've been watching all these videos and going through various different media, sort of thinking about what flowers to get, I've been putting them into my wildlife matrix and then sort of classify them as to how I want them. So what I'll do now is I'll put up just a photo of the first sort of, you know, draft on it. It's a bit messy, ignore my handwriting, it's just, you know, the way it is. It's on a whiteboard, which is nice and easy to be messy with. So the first thing you'll notice is that across the top is the aspect of them, so whether they want shade, sun, or part shade or whatever. Down the left hand side is what season they flower in, so you know, obviously winter, summer, spring, autumn. And then I've split each of those boxes up into whether the plants are small, medium, or large, and then in there is just the detail a little bit, i.e. the name, whether they're an annual, biannual, perennial, evergreen, and then whether they're a sort of flower or a shrub or a tree or whatnot. So yeah, that's just the gist of it. Now the beauty of that is that if we come back to the garden, so what it is, when I'm going precise with it, what I'm going to do, the idea is I'm going to split the garden up into at least 4 zones, which will basically equate to, you know, full shade, part sun, etc. And then all I need to do is in each zone just make sure I've got one plant that flowers in each season. So what I mean by that is, if we take this bed just dead in the center, just because it's right there. So in here we have at the moment this salvia, which is right here, the verbena, which is sort of just bent over, got crushed and is bent over. And then we've got this buddleia to the right of the schefflera there, just sticking its head up. So what we've got covered in this is, we've got the autumn is going to be the buddleia, spring for the salvia, summer for the verbena, which means I need something that likes full sun, is winter flowering, and then so when I'm out and about I can consult the matrix, look in the right box when I fill it in properly, and yeah, just go from, get that basically. And then again, it should work for all of them really. So let's just, for example, come over here to this. So this would be, I think, part sun, because technically it's west facing. Ignore this thing which has died. The kid's been pulling it all out, so it's just yeah, you can see not looking the best shape of its life. But over here, so in here at the moment, we've got the giant honeysuckle. You can just see at the back there, which I've only just put in, which will climb up the pergola and the fence. So that's a bit more of an autumn flowering one. We've got a camellia. We've got two camellias. This one's a double flower one, so it's not very useful to anything, but that one at the back is a single flower one. That's a bit more of a wintry one, a winter flowerer. And then we've got this Traculospermum jasminoides, which is a summer flowerer. So what I need to do in this one is get something spring flowering. And then just for argument's sake, third time lucky, let's go up the back. So let's take this one here, which is going to be part shade because it's east facing. So in here at the moment, we've got, like, flowering wise, down there in front of the canna is a red campion. Then we've got the Clematis armandii, and there's a hibiscus just behind that fern at the back there. So the hibiscus is going to be autumn flowering, the red campion's spring, the Clematis armandii, I'm going to say winter. So I need something part sun that will part shade that will flower in summer basically. So, and then I can just do all that all the way around basically. So that should work out quite well, and just mean that hopefully what will happen is that so the plant that I get for winter flowering in full shade probably isn't going to be the same one that winter flowers in part sun, which isn't going to be the same as the winter flowering one in full sun. So therefore, within winter itself, they should flower at different times. So one might be November, one might be January, one might be December, and then hopefully over all of the seasons there should be 4 plants for each as a minimum, which means that we get this successional planting on the go. And yeah, that's the idea with that. And then the nuclear option is just going to be, when I go around and mulch, I'm just going to get a packet of wildflower seeds and poppy seeds and whatnot, mix it in with the mulch, and then just lay it on top. And then when I do that again in spring, I'll do it again, and then that'll just be whatever lives and whatever spreads basically. So I could be asking for a lot of trouble with that. Another thing I've been doing, as you can see, is just leaving the grass long. It's made a hell of a difference. Every time you walk through that, you get loads of stuff come up. I actually had a grasshopper, and I haven't seen a grasshopper for years, so that was good. And it's quite a chunky one as well. So that's good. So I'll leave that. I might take the top off it, not this lot in the center of the lawn, but the stuff at the back by the slide and that. I might just take that back a touch. So lastly is just the habitat. So yeah, really, I can make bee hotels. I've already made one over here using some untreated wood. I've put it in the wrong spot though, but just that one there, if I was to put him on the actual south facing fence, they'd probably like that. And then for the bugs, I mean, probably the most important thing, if I was going to target anything, it would probably be ladybirds. So as long as they got a log pile, then beetles and ladybirds are happy with that over winter, which means they'll be in the garden ready for the aphids and the slugs and whatnot. The beetles for the slugs, not the ladybirds. And then so when I've been collecting stuff from the garden, I've got three pots which I put it in. One of them is bindweed, which just goes in the bin. The other one is composting, and then the other one is a kind of detritus mitch, so sticks that fall down off of that tree, and dried leaves, like the fatsia leaves and all that. And just got a bee right by me now. Best thing so far in the garden, actually, out of all of them, has been the old passion flower. It's still flowering now. It's been probably a month and a half it's been flowering, and it's just, I'm just trying to look and try and find, there's normally always a bee on it, but just not happens at this time. Maybe they're up there, but yeah, it's been a good one, this passion flower. So yeah, and then eventually we'll just layer it up and go from there and see what happens. So what we'll do is we'll go out the front, just have a quick look at what I've got out there. I'm not very restricted by anything. I'm just going to chuck everything out there and see what happens with it all. Got a little secret weapon as well, which we'll get to after that. So yeah, I'll see you in a second. Okay, so this is at the front. You can see it's the exact opposite of the back garden. So yeah, that back corner, which has got the sun now, funny enough, is full sun, and then it's sort of part sun there, and then pretty shady over here because it's east facing. So we'll have a quick look. The plan out here is just to do whatever I want, really. So we'll see how the wildflowers come up next year. I'll do the same out here with the mulching and go from there. But for now, we've put a few bits in here. So we've got the foxglove down there, which is biannual, so that's just gone in this year, so that should flower next year and then hopefully seed, and I'll get another one next year which I'll put in, and then that should cover all bases hopefully. And then we've got a fuchsia there, red valerian there, the white one version of it. We've got this Iriseum bowls mauve, which is a wallflower. This has been flowering for ages, 2 months already. Doesn't look like it's slowing down at all yet. Got a few hibiscus, another wallflower. And then we've got this stuff here, which is my favourite stuff out here at the moment, which is the Verbena bonariensis, the tall stuff with the pink, purpley flowers on top. Can see holding itself up in the wind, so that's pretty good. And yeah, nice and tall, about 1.5 meters that is up to my chin, so that's about there. Then we've got some lavender out here, some of this weed stuff, if you like, in inverted commas, which I think is rosebee willow herb, so we'll just leave that and let that do what it's going to do. Bit of a sedum down there just in front of the bamboo, you can see. And then over this side at the moment, I've just put this bed in. It was for one of the giant honeysuckle cuttings, which is going to climb up all over that. Just ignore the mess. Got a sedum in there for now. A bit more of that weedy stuff coming up through. Lot of the ferns are there to give a bit of winter protection to the honeysuckle. I'm not convinced that one's going to survive the winter, but we'll see. And then just before we go to the secret weapon, the only thing you need to note is that tree right there. So yeah, I will see you on the other side, literally. Okay, so hoping this is going to be my secret weapon. Here's the tree we were just looking at the front. There's the shed. You can see it's just a grass verge, sort of council land, if you like, all the way up and down. You can see some places, my bit's actually probably the most kept how it was with the grass, and the rest of it, all of it's been taken over by brambles. So I'm sure they're not too worried as long as I keep it native here. So see, good Brucey bonuses, lots of ivy, especially climbing up over the garage. I'll have to sort that out because it is coming in under one of the tiles. So, but that'll get knocked down in a couple of years for an extension anyway, I suspect. And then yeah, lots of brambles. You can see we're starting to get up into the realms of the bindweed. And yeah, good habitat basically. If you look at that, I think that's good for everything. The only thing I was considering doing is I want to chop. This is the back garden. Now you can see there's the sort of top of my fencing. There's the fig tree up there. Because of the bindweed that keeps coming under the fence and all that, you can see a lot of it around it. It's just started to flower. I was kind of thinking, if I was to be clearing like a trench down the back of the fence to stop the bindweed coming under, dig a couple of holes to get the roots out, and then accidentally drop in a couple of native shrubs just so that there's a sort of aerial route from tree to tree. I'm sure no one will think anything of it compared to all that lot down there. So I think that's something I might do. But otherwise, yeah, just leave it. And it's obviously good because it's cover for like hedgehogs and things like that. And I can make the big log piles out here, ones that are too big to go inside the garden and that. So yeah, we'll see how we do. Anyway, let's go back to the other side. Okay, so those are those two trees you just seen last, and the fig tree there. So that's where that kind of finishes up. So it should be quite good out there, really. I think it's, I pretty much don't want to do anything. Like I said, I might just chuck a couple of shrubs just to connect the two trees for the birds in long term. But I'm not actually going to target birds or bats just yet, because next year we're probably going to get an extension put on top of the garage there, so I don't want any nesting stuff up there just in case there's any laws that I can't move them. But as soon as that's done, I'll be chucking up loads of bat and bird boxes. We get a fair few bats here anyway, so yeah, that should work out quite well. But for now, we've done a lot of it anyway, but we'll just have a quick spin round and see what I've got so far, and go from there. So yeah, as I just said a minute ago, we've got 2 passion flowers in here, which have been quite good. The normal one, the Carolea or whatever it is, the blue one, that one's been totally covered. This one not so much, but it still does attract stuff. I don't know if it's because it's white and it just attracts moths or something like that. And then in here, say you've got the camellias, got the Tracheospurnum, got the giant honeysuckle at the back. The Tetrapanax does flower, but I don't know if that's any good for wildlife or not. I guess we'll find out. In here, we've got this giant honeysuckle, which is bursting, just about to go any second now. And look at the amount of flowers it's got on it this year. Absolutely going to go crazy. So yeah, happy with that. That's an autumn flowerer. So we'll see how that does. And then what else have we got in here? So we've got this, don't know if you'll see it in the light, but there's a azalea there, and then a winter flowering daphne down there. And then, as I said before, the Clematis armandii. And did I say the camellia down there? Although I think that one's double flowered. Middle bed, we've been through that already. Salvia, verbena, buddleia at the moment. Over here, went through this one, red campion, this weedy stuff, whatever that is, and then hibiscus and a Clematis armandii, Pilostagia verbenoides there, which is a bit of an autumn flowerer. And then round here, yeah, I think I'm gonna have a bit of space come up around here. I've got this Fatsia, which actually looks like it's gonna die, so I don't quite know what happened with that, but you know, we'll see. Got another Pilostagia at the back there. Once the canopy lifts on that Fatsia down there, I'm gonna have a massive run of sort of full shade bits I can put in there. So I'm thinking stuff like cowslips and I can't remember what it was, but I'll have a lot of options for low plants in there. If that Fatsia does die, I can get a kind of something shrubby in there, so that should be quite good. And then yeah, as I duck down underneath the fig tree, I don't think the fig tree actually has flowers as such. As far as I'm aware, the flowers are on the inside of the fruit. And then just on this bit, the Fatsia there, I know it has berries, which I don't think are very good for wildlife. I don't know what the flowers are like. But then it also, we've got this hydrangea samanii. So I've got a few open spaces around here that I can just dot stuff in. And like I said, with a chuck of wildflower mix in, that will just hopefully spread. Yeah, that's about it really. We'll see how we do. I'll finish the matrix off, and then in the next video, I'll have that all printed up nice on a spreadsheet, if you see what I mean, rather than my handwriting, so I can take you through it properly. But yeah, that's about it really. We'll see how we do. I'll just keep adding bits to it, and then maybe when I do the mulching in autumn and I've done the wildflower mix in there, I'll have some log piles out as well, and we can sort of see where everything's going to go. Anyway, hope you're having a good one. See you next time. Thanks for watching.